inside 80. And the fans are up in their seats and waving here, Matt, as they are ready for tonight's main events.
This is what 600 horsepower sounds like. This is what it feels like. This is what it looks like.
It sure is, and there's nothing like it. You'll feel the ground shake beneath your feet. Pick your favorites now and cheer them on every lap and every circuit. Here's Matt Buckler as he leads the field to turn 3.
And tenacious Todd Owen out of Somers, Connecticut. Matt Galko out of Meriden, Connecticut. They are the two guys who will be pulling the trigger as they come up to speed. And it is Galko with a fast getaway.
Car number 9. The number 9 machine of Barrett initially drops to the rear of the field, but down the back straightaway. Matty Galko becomes leader number 1, but the caution is out as Tommy Barrett's bad luck continues. Matt, you talked about it as we were staging the cars in the front straightaway. Car number 9 has had no luck in one department and one department.
He is behind the wall, and we'll be trying to check in with our pit reporters, John Gates and Jeff McConey, to see if they can determine what is the cause of the ailment in Tommy Barrett's car.
We see some smoke now coming from beneath the hood of the number 9 machine. So it looks like we are about ready to go back to green flag racing. Lights are off on the safety vehicle provided by Wheelan Engineering as they'll pass beneath the Napa Know-How billboard in turn number 3 as our starters, Bill McCallum's son Brian Callum on the starter stand, and Mike Holberg as they come off turn number 4. And there is the green, and Todd Owen gets a good bite and a little bit of extra oomph, but never count out Matty Galko, as he's making some noise on the outside. But Matt, look at the car that is moving like a black shadow to the outside, and it is Keith Rocco, car number 57. That car is already up to the 4th position.
Well, what about Galko as he was able to whiplash his way into the lead from the outside groove? Now Owen getting a visit inside from Eric Goodale. Goodale trying to jackknife his way into 2nd.
Certainly is, and he really is going for it at this particular point. Michael Christopher told us earlier, you can hear the disappointment in his voice, as he is now worked some magic up to the top 5. Meanwhile, keep your eyes just from 6th on back, and Ronnie Williams, you're going to discover he's in the 6th position now.
And in between him and that number 58 of Goodale is Mike Christopher Jr. Todd Owen almost made a move against Galko, came up short as they slither their way into turn number 1. Another guy to keep an eye on is Anthony Cecily. It's been about 10 years since he's been at Stafford, but he has gotten reacquainted with the place in a hurry.
He certainly has. That's a car that usually Tony Jankowiak has driven and had a tremendous amount of success with. Meanwhile, back up front, Matty Galko, who was the man who was a big story behind the scenes today on Instagram, is running in the number 1 position. But all of a sudden, look at Michael Christopher in the outside lane going around Eric Goodale. Now that's a battle like you'd see on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, as both of those cars compete there, and Ronnie Williams is hooked up and flying to the front of this field.
And also trying to move in is Todd Owen against Keith Rocco, who is currently in 2nd place. We have a double file battle. Yellow has problems in turn 4.
We've got a car that stopped to the outside wall.
And that is the 4 of Jeff Gallup.
And it has a flat. Andy Shaw will tell you that he thought the transition from full body to open wheel modifieds was going to be a piece of cake. And he'll tell you those exact words. He said it's been the most difficult task that he has ever had to accomplish. He is a very versatile driver and a part of the famed Shaw family, which literally were the name to beat when it came to Busch North and K&N racing
Dale
for a lot of
Shaw
years.
was one of the best when the Busch North came here. He was pretty good. But here at Stafford, we say that the modifieds are perfect race cars. They are fast enough to explode like Indy cars, and sturdy enough to bang like cup cars.
Here comes the green again, and Matty Galko continues to guard the inside lane, but all of a sudden, look out, because the car to keep your eyes on is currently setting in the outside row, and while Todd Owen guards the inside of the second row, Keith Rocco is on the top side of the racetrack. Eric Goodale is there, and Michael Christopher is in the fourth position on the inside. Chase Dowling is starting to come to life with car number 00.
Oh,
Sparks will fly. That's on the Goodale machine, and that worked to the advantage of Chase Dowling, who is now up to the top 5.
Boy, those sparks look like hailstones coming off of the 58. Mike Christopher going down low against Keith Rocco, and he gets about halfway there and then has to back off, and Rocco maintains his third place position.
There's no doubt about it as they rumble off the turn. Michael Christopher tries to shake off Dowling in a bid for the fourth and fifth position. Look just behind them, and you've got Cam McDermott in a side-by-side battle as he comes off the turn, as now Goodale's car suddenly has become Evo Man, and all of a sudden Ronnie Williams' car has mustered up a little extra giddy up down the back straightaway.
And Ronnie Williams is in the top 8, and the top 1 is Galko, being challenged again by Todd Owen. He has been pestering him for the entire race. Keith Rocco running third, but Cam McDermott, he is able to pull away from Ronnie Williams for the time being. And Williams now making that famous move in turn number 3, and he executes it brilliantly.
He certainly does, Matt. He learned that lesson well. Whether he learned it from Rocco or Christopher, it doesn't matter, because it just seems to work. Back up front, Galko is hunted down by Todd Owen. Owen clicked off the quickest lap of the race, 18:7:46. Todd Owen going for the gusto off turn number 4. Todd Owen emerges as the leader with 14 laps up on the board.
And that was a powerhouse move he put on Matt Galko. Now it is Keith Rocco holding off Mike Christopher. Maybe a guy to keep an eye on right now is Ronnie Williams, as he thundered underneath McDermott. And now he is trying to run down Chase Dowling, who is in the top 5.
There's no question about that. Meanwhile, McDermott is also coming to the front of the class in the 7th position. Anthony Cecily is brought back to position number 10. Matty Galko is all over the back bumper of Todd Owen. Owen, almost like he saved a little bit a few laps ago, let Galko go by, and then all of a sudden, he took back the lead. 16 of 80, now complete in this Bud Light event for the Model 5s here at Stafford.
Maybe a lot of people don't regard Todd Owen as a tour-type driver, but he does have a couple of wins on the Valente Modified Series, and right now he is leading by a tree trunk over Matt Galko. A battle for third as Mike Christopher is coming after Keith Rocco.
There's no question about it. He continues to work him over as he is right there. Dowling is up to the top 5, as we said, and then Ronnie Williams has closed up that gap, rather impressively, on Dowling. And McDermott, the same can be said there as well. Down the back straightaway, it looks like the 176 has dropped off the pace.
And that is Dana DiMatteo in that car. And as they swerve off the corner, it is still Mike Christopher close enough to Billy Club, that number 57 car, as he now wanders to the inside of the 57. And Chase Dowling is right there. I think Chase Dowling is playing spectator right now, waiting to see what's going to happen in the battle between Rocco and Christopher.
A quarter of the event is now over with. Todd Owen is the leader on lap number 20. Matt Galko is in second. Keith Rocco is third. Mike Christopher is fourth. Chase Dowling is fifth. Ronnie Williams is in sixth. McDermott is seventh. Goodale is eighth. Cipriano is ninth. Cecily is 10th.
And Anthony Cecily is trying to move in on Joey Cipriano. Cipriano in the Gunsmoke Stables 27. Cecily in the black 27. And almost going underneath was Anthony Flannery in car number 25.
Certainly was, Matt, and he puts a nice move on it. Here comes Dowling. He tries to make a move down underneath the Mohawk Baldwin race car of Michael Christopher. Christopher continues to do a good job of holding on to the spot with car number 7, New York. But Owen is clicking off the quick times, 19:037 last time by. Galco a 1:30, Rocco a 0:42. So Rocco is almost as quick as Todd Owen, the leader, but he's got a lot of ground to make up that with 23 and counting here at Stafford.
But he's got a lot of laps in which to do it. McDermott, he has come to life as he is attacking Ronnie Williams in the 50 car. So Cam McDermott had trouble staying on the racetrack in our first 2 open races, but right now he is a thorn in the side of Ronnie Williams.
He certainly is, and he continues to be that thorn in the side, as now McDermott now is going to take a peek at the inside map, and it just doesn't work, so he pulls it back into formation there. Todd Owen still in command, 19:081, and now Galco puts off the fastest lap with a 19:064.
And that car is still good for Galco as it has found a little firepower. Here is Mark Buckeye coming off of turn number 4 against Dylan Kopeck, trying to use the squeeze play on him. And Buckeye goes into the turn with some momentum, and he is on the verge of taking a position away, moving into the top 13.
He certainly does, but Kopeck continues to fight back, so that battle isn't over with. And also right there is Jeff Gallup. Remember, on the last caution, he was down at pit road as they made a chassis adjustment. Here comes McDermott now, trying to get down underneath Ronnie Williams. That's the bid currently for the 6th and 7th position. Cam McDermott, a standout in the SK Light division, another graduate coming up through the ranks, wheel-to-wheel and side-by-side with Ronnie Williams, as that's the battle for position number 6.
Won by McDermott. You remember there was one summer at Thompson Speedway where McDermott was unbeatable in the light modifieds, and he made a virtuoso move there to get underneath Williams. At the front of the field, the battle remains the same as Todd Owen trying to pull away from Matt Galco, and the yellow comes out, trouble on the backstretch as one car is in John Deere country.
It looks like it might be the 27 of Anthony Cecily.
Over to you. How do you see things down there?
The Todd Owen number 81 machine is in the pits. They've got the right side jack. Looks like a new rear tire on that machine. They're now doing a service on the number 27 Gunsmoke Stables machine. That car in the pits. Joey Cipriano behind the wheel. Also jacked up on the right-hand side. They're switching out tires, and a lot of action going on also up pit lane.
Certainly is, and we can see right now it appears that the 27 of Anthony Cecily is going to make it back out. Ronnie Williams' car is stalled. The crew is trying to push it to get it started. Meanwhile, the 00 of Chase Dowling has lost several positions on the racetrack in the Steve LeMay, Jimmy Page-owned race car, and they're making an adjustment up front, along with Schneider with the number 19 machine. Let's go back down to pit road and see if we've got more.
Marcello Rafano had some trouble getting off pit road, and Mark McCosh followed him. Rafano stalled the car coming off with a lot of right side tire changes, a lot of work going on the 19, and the 29 had some more chassis adjustments done to it. What are you guys seeing up there that I might be missing down here?
Well, we're seeing a lot of things down at pit road. The car that has lost the most ground on the racetrack is the number 00 car, as it's set stranded on pit road. They're working on something. We're not sure if one of your reporters could check on that situation there. But right now, Matty Galco, Matty Ice, has maintained and taken back the lead. Keith Rocco is going to be alongside in the front row, and then Michael Christopher, Cam McDermott, along with Goodale, Flannery, and Gallup, Jeff Gallup, is making up that next row as well. So we've still got a ways to go, Matt. 29 laps up on the board, and back down on pit road, the Cecily machine and the white number 27 of Joey Cipriano. So 2 27s on pit road.
And a 3 is out in front. Matt Galco, as it looks like we are ready to resume with 29 laps completed in our Bud Light 80. Here is Galco. He's usually pretty good on these restarts on the outside. Let's see how he responds to the inside pretty well as he gets the jump on Rocco.
He certainly does, Matt. He does a banner job of getting that jump. But Rocco is going to be firing it up again. But Galko runs like the rabbit being chased by the dogs, and a dog track as he comes off the turn. Meanwhile, keep your eyes on Cam McDermott with that yellow machine, the number 8 car. That car has been very strong and very consistent lap after lap, but now it gets shaken off by Michael Christopher, who's never been out of contention for the podium. Todd Owen is coming to the front, Matt, like the old hot knife through butter.
And Chase Dowling looking to make a move against the Cam McDermott car as he goes down low, but didn't have enough right to make something happen. And Anthony Flannery, one of the feel-good stories of this race. For most of his career, he was a late model driver, but he has adapted tonight pretty well to open wheels.
He certainly has, Matt, and he continues to get stronger. Dave Etheridge is listed as the owner of that race car. Meanwhile, here comes Todd Owen. Look at Owen. Goes to the outside of Gallup, almost like Gallup had a parachute attached to the back end of the machine. Here comes Todd Owen. Remember, he pitted. They did an adjustment. Now, Butch Shea is a mastermind at making those cars handle. He created them, he breathed life into them, and he knows how to get those cars to the front of the field here at Stafford.
Now, Gallup is under siege by Dylan Kopech in the M6 as he is trying to waltz around that number 4 car, unable to make it happen. And also in the middle of the action is Andrew Moeller in car number 1, so he has become a factor. But Matt Galko right now on Easy Street, but if he looks in his rearview mirror, he will see the smiling face of Keith Rocco.
There is no question there, Matt. Look a little further back in the field, and we see Mark Buckeye, who's just now approaching the top 10 again. David Snyder is also there, and Ronnie Williams is back into the top 13. And Matt, I don't think he's going to stay there long. As you see Williams now dive underneath Snyder, he's been picking off about a car a lap.
And a pretty effective move there as he is able to tornado underneath Schneider. And now the car in front of him is Mark Buckeye, and we'll see what happens in the battle between Williams and Buckeye.
So as they rumble back off turn number 4, and that is a good battle going on there that you just pointed out, Matt. But no one is able to gain any additional ground. Matty Galko is so long overdue to have success, and they are just 3 laps shy of the halfway marker in this event. The big question is Keith Rocco been saving anything? Let's look at the times, Matt. Galko turned to 2:09. Keith Rocco turned to 0:98. So Rocco is the quicker of the two.
Speaking of quickness, look at Todd Owen as he is able to blast underneath Anthony Flannery. A 19.242 lap for Todd Owen, as he might be the fastest bullet in the chamber as we are approaching the halfway mark.
We certainly are, Matt. And when they cross the stripe this time, we'll give you the top 10 and how they come to the stripe. There's the cross flags in the air. In this, the second annual Bud Light Modified Open.
Well, Andrew Moeller is going to pass 2 cars in turn number 4. What a move. He got by Gallup and he got by Kopech.
So with 40 laps in the record books, Galko is the leader, Rocco is second, Christopher in third, McDermott in 4, Eric Goodale in 5, Owen is up to 6, Flannery for 7, 8th is Moeller, 9th is Kopech, and 10th is Gallup in the top 10 currently.
I think that was the move of the race.
We've got a caution, Matt.
Caution.
Car number 19, that is the car that comes from Long Island, and that is the number 19 of David Schneider out of Huntington, New York. He runs at Riverhead Raceway. And he's also had a lot of success. Galko is in on pit road. Let's go quickly to our pit road reporters.
He says it's here with number 3 car in the pit area. Once again, jacking that machine up. It looks like a right rear on that car, along with Eric Goodale in the 58 machine. Once again, right rear and front. Jacked up on that side. On the right-hand side, also the number 7 machine of Mike Christopher Jr., the 7 New York. He's going to be the first one out of the pit area here. A good stop for that Tommy Baldwin machine. Let's go upside, top side of the pits.
Well, the 4 car was the first caution of this race, and he's getting new right side tires. He appears to be doing well. A lot of action going on down on this end of pit road as I navigate my way through the teams that are all pitting. It looks like we've got the 66 has sold it. He's on his way out. And the 09, it appears, is getting new right side tires. Up in the booth, what are you guys seeing?
You know, the story in this event is they can put on selectively right rears or right fronts, Matt. You remember how that was the last time we were here. So it's not as easy as it might look. There's a lot of strategy, and there are a lot of different factors involved, because we've seen it on many an occasion how that'll make a tremendous difference in the car and how it turns here at Stafford.
And I think Jeff McConey would have made a pretty good running back on a football team, the way he was able to get through the traffic on pit road and get to the story. Right now, the story is Todd Owen. He went from the front to the rear, back to the front, and the car number 25, who is next door, might be a surprise to some. It is Anthony Flannery. Now, his claim to fame, he was basically a fender driver and a legend driver. He went to college at the University of Northern Ohio, which has an auto racing team.
That's correct.
So he was on the racing team when he was in college, and he drove a dirt modified, and that's where he got used to driving in open wheel cars. The moral of the story, go to a college where they teach auto racing.
Sure is, Matt. And then he teams up with David Etheridge, who started his racing career right here at the Stafford Speedway, competing in a pro stock type car, then moved to the open wheel modifieds. And David was planning on being here tonight, but the car was not completed in time to be a factor. 40 laps up on the board. The final 40 remains. Nobody knows the answer on who, what, or why the results will end up being.
So let's see what kind of jump Todd Owen can get out of the barrel. Not bad, as he is able to put some distance between himself and Anthony Flannery.
Certainly does, and Owen now all of a sudden look out, because here comes maybe a surprise to some, but not to us, Matt. Andrew Moeller started in the 13th position. He's up to the 2nd spot, and Moeller is not done by any stretch of the imagination. And look at Dylan Kopak. He's now on the podium. We've got a yellow.
And there is a car stranded on the front straightaway, and that is Dave Schneider. So he has had some back-to-back
spot. And then Marcello Rufano is in the 7th position. Chase Dowling is up to the 8th spot. Noah Goodale unofficially in 9th, and I believe Joey Cipriano sets in the 10th spot, Matt. And we have 41 laps.
Anthony Flannery rejoining his pals at the rear of the field, and we are ready to turn him loose with Todd Owen. He has had a magical mystery tour tonight. Led early, made a pit stop, and was able to rabble-rouse his way through the field without an incident. He will be restarting against Andrew Moeller.
Let's see what's going to happen. Moeller has been very racy, and you pointed it out, Matt, but Owen gets a nice jump as they come off turn number 4. And now Moeller changes his strategy. He went from the outside to the inside. That car is sticking, and look at Buckeye run the outside lane as well.
And Dylan Kopak is on the inside in the M6 as he tries to blister his way underneath the 52 of Buckeye. And while he does, opening up a pretty big lead is Todd Owen.
There's no question about it, but Owen is out in front. Here comes Swanson. We haven't talked about him in Gary Casella's car. Matt Swanson from the NASCAR Wheeler Modified Tour, where he usually runs the number 3 car for the Bowler family. And right behind Swanson is the number 50 of Ronnie Williams, the 00 of Chase Dowling. So those guys are running in the outside lane as well. And now it appears that Ronnie Williams is applying the pressure. Look at Matt Swanson, Matt. He's going for 3rd.
As he tries to sizzle his way underneath Buckeye, he is even with the 52, and now he's able to jackrabbit his way into 3rd. Ronnie Williams making a move underneath Buckeye, and he gains 4th place.
He certainly does. Ronnie Williams, a few laps ago, you would have counted him out of this event, but that's not the story. But I think the incentive there is, Matt, the car that's in front of him is a car that he usually drives, and he doesn't want that 25 to get far out of his sight. Look out, because here comes Chase Dowling down underneath Buckeye, and right there with Dowling is Goodale again, and Matt Galco. Oh, trouble now. The Buckeye machine makes contact with the Dylan Kopak car, and those two cars come together with 45 laps up on the board. Back in the old days of competing there as well, and then went to this car, and it was a car that they had a great run at the London Waterford Speedway, Matt. You remember that night? It was just before the tragedy.
Yes, his last tour victory was in that 00 car, and that's why when Chase Dowling won with that car early this season at the Thompson Icebreaker, they had a great ceremony. Joe Ham gave him that number 13 flag, and they had a victory lap that the people will never forget. Right now, it's Todd Owen. He's going eyeball to eyeball with the 16-year-old Andrew Moeller.
Certainly is, and we are about ready to get him fired back up as they head off turn number 4. And there is the green, and Owen again on top of his game. But I think the story is going to be Ronnie Williams on the outside of Matt Swanson. And now Swanson tries to get down underneath Moeller. 3 wide, they come off turn number 4, Matt.
And backing out of it is Ronnie Williams. That was a pretty aggressive dive-bomb move by Swanson. And he is in second. And now moving away from the traffic is Andrew Moeller, getting challenged by Williams. And Williams is able to rocket into third.
He certainly does, almost like he hit the booster button. And with him is Moeller, and then all of a sudden, Marcello Rafano, we haven't even talked much about him. He's coming to the front of the field as well, Matt.
Jeff Rocco, his crew chief. And now a good move is being made by Chase Dowling in the 00 car. So Dowling is in the top 4. Eric Goodale, he's had his ups and downs tonight, and he has moved into 5th place.
48 laps up on the board. Todd Owen looks like Superman at the front of the field. But all of a sudden, look at Ronnie Williams. He just went down underneath Gary Casella's race car with Matt Swanson in a swish that made Williams look as strong as he's been the early part of this season. Williams is up to second. Meanwhile, a dogfight battle in a side-by-side run between Dowling and the number 58 of Eric Goodale. As they work their magic off turn number 4, Goodale now, we almost counted him out a little bit earlier, he now moves back in and takes over the 4th spot. Right there with him, here comes Matty Ice. Car number 3, Matt Galco. Down underneath Dowling. Dowling tries to shake him off. As they come off turn number 4, Owen is still the leader. 30 laps and counting.
And Galco made a good move to get by Dowling. One thing about Eric Goodale, he has learned how to play the tire game here in Stafford, and that's why he should have a pretty awesome car for the rest of the race.
Certainly does appear to be that way, and Todd Owen's strategy of the short pit earlier has definitely paid off with the number 81 machine. Todd Owens had a tough week this week, Matt. His grandmother passed away at the beginning of the week, and so they have worked around the clock to get this car ready for tonight, and Butch Shea has done his homework, because this car is a rocket at the front of the field, and the same can be said for the number 50 machine, because as you look at timing and scoring, those times are almost identical. Owen and Williams' race car are running an 8:92 and a 9:02.
Yeah, 10 100ths of a second difference between the two cars. So Adam Scavera, the car owner of the 50, has done his homework too. We have a great battle for 3rd and 4th. Swanson with certainly challenge from Goodale. Let's see if Goodale can crank up another one. Here he comes.
Certainly does make the effort. It doesn't work as Swanson just kind of shakes him off like a dog who has fleas. Meanwhile, a little further back, remember McDermott, how strong he was in the beginning of the race? Well, he's now seemed to get a little bit of a sip of one of those energy drinks. Now a bid for the lead, Matt, down at turn 3.
Williams has some firepower as they bazooka their way out of the corner. It is the outside car, Owen only by a centimeter, and here comes Ronnie Williams to take over the lead in the Bud Light 80.
There's no question about it. Owen is not going to give up. He continues to dig hard in the outside. Williams runs the bottom lane. They come off from turn number 4. New leader emerges. It is Ronnie Williams to take over the lead. Lap 57 of 80 in this Bud Light special events.
And Eric Goodale has broken free of Matt Swanson. He is running 3rd, Galco 5th, and 6th is Chase Dowling. And Keith Rocco, does he have anything left for a late rally? He is in 7th place.
Also, again, coming back to life, it is Andrew Moeller with the number 1 machine. He's up to the 9th position. Marcello Rafano is setting in the 10th spot. Just out of the top 10 is Jeff Gallup, McDermott, and Anthony Flannery.
So Ronnie Williams leading by the length of a bowling alley against the 81 of Owen. Here comes Goodale. Goodale might be the fastest pony in the merry-go-round because he is starting to challenge Owen for second. Here he comes.
There's no question about it, Matt. He turned an 18.888, and that is really amazing this late in the event. He is side by side with Todd Owen, and now Goodale has moved into the catbird seat. Second place for car number 58. Swanson still sitting back in the fourth spot. Galco is in 5. Sixth is Dowling. Rocco is in 7th.
Now the margin between Ronnie Williams and Eric Goodale right now is 1.3 seconds. So we'll be keeping an eye on that differential to see if Goodale is gaining ground.
And Michael Christopher has worked his way back up to the top 8, Matt, and he isn't done yet. So he never gave up, and a positive attitude has given him the advantage to come back to the front of this field. 62 of 80 now complete in this the Bud Light Open for the Tour Type Modified.
Mike Christopher in 8th place. Now a side-by-side battle behind him as Andrew Moeller and Jeff Gallup mix it up, and Gallup wins that battle. He is at 9th. Cam McDermott not far away. He sends it in to get underneath Moeller.
And while that's been happening, Marcello Rufrano is right there with that pack of cars as well. Still, with a time of 18.987 on the last time by, the fastest car on the last circuit is Ronnie Williams.
Williams' lead is growing. It was 1.3 a couple of laps ago as Mark Marcotte gets ready to come in. Now it's 1.6. So Ronnie Williams is winning the war between he and Goodale.
Look at Chase Dowling. He just now moved underneath Matty Galco with the number 3 car. Galco was running in the 5th spot. Dowling takes over the 5th position, forcing Galco back to the 6th spot. Keith Rocco is setting in position number 7, and Rocco is starting to get quicker. So is it Michael Christopher.
And leading by about the length of the Goodyear blimp is Ronnie Williams. Now his differential 1.8. So he has gained a half a second over Goodale in the last 5 laps.
Certainly has, Matt, and that is the way they're currently running. Another car that's picking up some speed is Dowling with a 137 and Keith Rocco with a 158. So Rocco, all of a sudden, if he saved anything, he's starting to show that he's closing things up just a bit. Same could be said for the Chase Dowling car. 67 of 80 laps now up on the board.
Boy, it's amazing that after 67 laps, Ronnie Williams can click off a lap of 19.012, and he followed it up with a 19.061. So Ronnie Williams, whatever they did on the pit stop, they should write a manual about it, and it would be a bestseller.
Certainly would be. And now we're seeing some closing here between the Todd Owen race car and the Matt Swanson machine. So Swanson has moved into the 3rd position. Owen is back to the 4th spot, and then Dowling is up to 5 with Rocco at 6. 10 laps to go, Matt.
Great move by Mike Christopher as he was able to bury that car underneath Matt Galco. Mike Christopher is now in 7th place.
So we're down to less than 10 laps remaining. And now, all of a sudden, the battle is between Todd Owen, Matt Swanson, Chase Dowling, and Keith Rocco.
That Chase Dowling has stuck his nose in there. Now, most of the passing is taking place in turn number 3. So let's see what Dowling does as he approaches the 3rd corner against Todd Owen.
And look out, because here comes Keith Rocco. He's going to go to the outside of Dowling as they come off the turn. Dowling's car has loosened up considerably. And Owen slips up the racetrack. That's going to work to the advantage of Dowling as they come up on a lapped car.
And Dowling tried to use that as an ally. It didn't quite work, but Dowling is able to maintain his edge by about a hubcap over Todd Owen down to the final 7 laps. And Ronnie Williams is still clicking off the fastest laps in the race, except for Todd Owen, who had an 18-second lap the last time around.
And all of a sudden, here comes Keith Rocco, and as quick as Owens looked, Rocco takes over the number 5 position when they cross the stripe. So Keith Rocco is coming on strong, but time is starting to run out. And now Rocco sets his sights with 5 to go.
Trouble for Shaw as that car has lost its momentum and it is just crawling on the inside of the track. We'll see if he can get it off the track to avoid a late caution.
Now here comes Keith Rocco working the outside of Chase Dowling down the back straightaway. Caution is out, and this is going to change everything. And what a run by Ronnie Williams. Williams has won just about all of the big events or open tour type modified racing this season. Been there and done that. Eric Goodale from the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour to the outside of that front row. Matt Swanson and Chase Dowling, two of the young guns in the Wheel and Modified Tour. Keith Rocco and Todd Owen, two of the craftiest of veterans. Michael Christopher and Galco. If you think it's over with, you are wrong, because it can go many different combinations will be put to the test. Hang on, because it's going to come down to the wire. 2.5 miles left, and the green is out. And it appears Ronnie Williams has the advantage again. Up to the outside comes Goodale. Here comes Chase Dowling. Dowling goes around Swanson. Todd Owen's car goes up the hill and becomes Evil Matt.
And he loses about 8 positions. At the front, Ronnie Williams has responded to the challenge of Goodale. Swanson getting under Chase Dowling.
Oh, Michael Christopher makes contact with Keith Rocco. We've got cars spinning down the back straightaway.
And the yellow comes out on lap number 76.
M6, Dylan Kopech was involved. To break either at all, just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. And believe it or not, Matt, it looks like Dylan Kopech's car is going behind the wall, but it actually moved away under its own power. Here we go. We're going to try it all over again. Now remember, on the last restart, Ronnie Williams looked strong enough to take the lead, and then it was Swanson who dropped back to the 4th spot. Dowling took over the 3rd spot. It was short-lived. Then he went back to 4th, and then Michael Christopher and Keith Rocco were right in there on that bid. There's the green again.
Let's see if Goodale learned anything on that last restart. It is Williams pouncing his way to the front. Matt Swanson making a move. A 3-way battle for the lead.
As they head down the back straightaway now, it was Chase Dowling in the middle of that mix. Here comes Keith Rocco. Matt Swanson gets a wheel down underneath Goodale. He's going for second. He's going to try to go for the lead.
It looks like Swanson is able to clear Goodale. Now he is trying to chase after Ronnie Williams. Rocco doing a good job in 4th, 1 spot ahead of Galco, but here comes Ronnie Williams. He cranks it up over the 4th corner, and we have 2 laps to go.
Final 2 circuits to go in this one. Rocco has moved into the 4th spot. Galco has moved up to 5. Michael Christopher in the 6th spot. Chase Dowling fighting back in position number 7. Oh, down the back straightaway.
That's Eric Goodale, who wound up in the grass. He was fighting for second with...
Wow, what a save, Matt. White flag is out.
He was fighting with Swanson. Now here's Ronnie Williams. He is 3 turns away from another major victory.
Here's the story. Ronnie Williams is going to win in the 50 if he can hold on for 2 more turns. Meanwhile, the car that he usually drives will follow him to the checker with Matt Swanson to finish in 2nd behind Ronnie Williams. The winner of the Bud Light 80, Keith Rocco to finish in 3rd, Matty Galco.
About what good times we had. Vegas up every night. Try to find me a girl or two. I hope you find me a red. 'Cause I've never been in one, but I better be a good time.